Georgia for a trans spy's birthday, or Main Mom from Maine, whichever name you prefer to use. And we're exploring a cemetery, so we thought we'd bring you guys along with us and just check it out. I'm in my spooky oogies. Got all the spooky stuff on. And my lovely holders right now, because I'm tiny and this hurts my arms. So I'm going to flip it around and, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll show you guys some of these awesome things in Savannah. Do. So one of the cool things about the Savannah cemeteries is that, when we took a ghost tour, all of this is cemetery, and you can see where it ends over here. However, they did a classic poltergeist thing, and when they were expanding the city limits, they moved the headstones, but they didn't move the bodies. So, super fun with that. Sarah. Show off some of the cool weathering. Some of these are so old you can't really make out the names. Can you read this, Sarah? Can you read what that says? I like too that this is a place where people just come to like chill.
Yeah.
Can't make it out right.
I feel like I should recognize, because some of the words I'm looking at, and I'm like, that's a word, and then it doesn't.
So, I don't know the history here, but I do know that in New Orleans, as gravestones would fall and they couldn't do anything with them, they put them against the wall. Because you can see there's like a building right up against this wall here, so it's not a crypt wall, or else we wouldn't have a building attached to it. In memory of John. How do you say that last name, do you think?
I'd say Egerty.
Egerty. Where's the year? Do you see the year?
No.
There's definitely some stuff that's been like washed away. Hello. We're just exploring Savannah. All the really cool trees. This is a really pretty shot, Sarah, if you want to get one for yourself. Just all along. Let me get out of your way.
Oh, you're fine.
Can you show you send that to me? This is really cool because it looks like it's got a willow tree.
Some kind of vase or urn.
I guess this is what people need selfie sticks for, so they're not lifting their hand way up like me. Got a Sarah in the back.
Well, hi.
Birthday girl. We're here celebrating Sarah's birthday. It's nice that there's so many things to do outside without a mask on. Since yesterday, I got in trouble with a drunk, belligerent security guard, or not security guard. He was an actual police officer.
He may have well been.
Well, yeah, the way he was acting like a
The
fucking
left police.
like a fucking child. So Sarah and I were like, we have some alcohol back at the house. We were calling it an early night. I was super tired. I've started a new medication, and ooh, this is like a perfect little swing right here.
hold it, you can swing.
Yeah, well, not very well. I just flipped it around, so now it's on your hand.
Ah! Sorry, people.
Let's see how bad my grip is.
Don't fall.
I've got so much sunscreen on.
There you go. Look at you.
Now it's your turn. You're going to be much better at it. I feel weak lately. All right, Sarah, monkey it up for us. No, so going back to the story, because it seems like you guys like when I tell terrible stories. So Sarah and I were like, hey, I just want to get some wine, right? We just want some wine. So we were finishing up our dinner at Sixpence, which is my favorite little pub.
Hashtag non-spawn.
Yeah, my favorite little pub around here. And I asked the lady, like, hey, what's still open? We just want a bottle of wine. We're going to have a chill night. And she wants to go to Fancy Parker's. So we went over to Fancy Parker's. And unfortunately, there was a very belligerent cop there who was mad that we were wearing masks. And I didn't catch it at first. Like, he kind of got... I'm going to have Sarah hold this so I can show you. So Sarah is me. And I was walking by, and he kind of did, like, one of these to me, except taller. Because Sarah, like, one of those. And I was like, okay, that's really close for anybody. I don't want you that close to me. And he slightly whispers, Fauci lied. And I'm like, it took me a minute because he was like, because he was wasted at 9:30 on a fucking Wednesday. Like, life goals, buddy. And then we go to check out. Like, we didn't bump into him. We didn't make eye contact with him. Nothing. And he comes over and he's just tapping his credit card on the thing. And he goes, Fauci lied. Fauci lied. Fauci lied. And I'm like, okay, why do you think you should talk to me? Why are you speaking to me? And then he's like, yeah, it's the fucking leftist agenda. And I was like, dude, you don't know me. You don't know who I am. You don't know what my views are. Like, you don't know me at all. And he's like, yeah, Fauci lied. Like, I don't know. He was in a fugue state or something. And then he switched it to, like, those masks don't do anything. You're fucking stupid. And then eventually it escalated to me telling him, like, oh, that's what he did first. He said, you need to stop caring about masks and start caring about cops. Like, that's the only two options in the entire bucket. It's like, tea and cake or death? It's like, cops or masks. I'm like, what the hell, dude?
Didn't you know that?
And yeah, right? And then I told him, I was like, you don't know me. You don't know who the fuck I am. Why would you be fucking talking to me? Stop talking to me. And then finally I was like, why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to me? And he goes, you know what? Shove it up your ass, you fucking cunt. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, really? How am I hurting you? How am I hurting you? And he just staring straight ahead, fucking pissed, like
his giant
angry, shaking. Yeah, he had a giant tattoo of the American flag, which right there, nationalist. Yeah. So, woohoo! Such a weird fucking thing to like fanboy about. So
USA.
So he did that, and I said, what? How am I hurting you? How am I hurting you? And wouldn't respond to me. I was like, that's what I fucking thought. And as we're leaving, the youth said, man, that guy's a fucking asshole. I'm like, yeah, and he flashed his badge at me because as he was telling me I needed to care more about cops, he just kind of goes like that and shows me his badge, and I'm like, and? Do you get a discount with that here? Like, what's the fucking point? Why are you being such a douche?
Maybe got it out of a cereal box. You don't know.
It was real shiny, so I think it was real. But, yeah, he was very aggressive in his stance, and the local Savannah police department maybe should be keeping a better eye on their fucking drunk-ass officers, because I'm pretty sure you can't just randomly threaten somebody who's not breaking the law, who's not fucking belligerently drunk. Like, I didn't even have a drink at dinner. I had tea, so that guy can suck my nuts.
Robin.
A Robin?
Robin.
Oh, teeny tiny over there. Yeah, you are. Oh, he's so cute. Just running around.
I still think we should do a Left 4 Dead tour before we leave.
Yeah, definitely a Left 4 Dead tour. So it looks like this is a family plot because usually if it's a full family and they don't want anyone disturbing it, they put up the iron fencing, which someone, I guess, broke the gate off of.
Well, how is he supposed to get in?
You're not. You're supposed to be respectful. It's interesting that they have a lot of crypts here. I know in New Orleans, the reason they have crypts is because of the water. I mean, we're not far from any water, so maybe it's the same thing here in Savannah. But isn't this just beautiful and creepy with the Spanish moss? Which I found out Northerners buy is like ooh, I've got Spanish moss. I'm like, that shit is literally everywhere here. This is interesting on the back of this.
Buy it, bake it, sell it to the Northerners. Boom.
Buy it, bake it, sell it to the Northerners. What a cool tree.
bark comes off in little rolls.
Oh yeah, paper tree. You're not familiar with those?
I am not.
That's a northern thing because you're not familiar with it.
I'm not. Give me a birch tree. Make it some paper.
I need a selfie stick. My arm is tired. Here, I'm going to hand it to you for a while and you can just record me walking. Wait. There we go.
Get you from the back.
Get me from the back. That's what he said?
We'll get some kind of chest harness rig that has a little stabilizer on it.
Yeah, I think we just need like a thing right in between and it'll be fine. So stay on my narrow arms. That's really cool. They put
To help it
stabilize it.
Yep.
But then they put plexiglass in front of it so you could still read it. You can see here too, there's little offerings. So that's interesting that somebody's leaving little offerings. That's something you see in New Orleans a lot. So I'm wondering if this is like a significant grave site. Especially with the little shell. I wonder if it's one of those shells that's painted that has an address on it. No. Because Luna makes those little stones and shells. Or I wonder if it's a shell my mom left here because she left a bunch of shells here last time we were here. I like too that like some of them have, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really weird. Oh, here, we can actually read this one.
The Graham Vault.
114 years. Born in Rhode Island. George Washington Graham.
Interesting. Over in Johnson Square.
All the different squares. We'll have to show you guys that later. Like I said, when we do our Left 4 Dead tour, it was
Yep.
Sarah's idea because I love to play Ellis. That I'm gonna go around and be like, make me want to shit a squealing worm, and all of Ellis's.
What about your buddy
different-
Keith?
Yeah, did I ever tell you about that time about my buddy Keith? Fucking love Ellis.
Got kicked off a roller coaster, except they didn't stop it for him.
Is that one of the lines?
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. Yeah, all this makes me just want to play Left 4 Dead. Thanks for holding the camera. That's very kind of you. Yeah, this is too much sun.
There's a lot of sun.
There's a lot of sun.
It's pointing at us.
Aggressively so. Very rude, actually.
Salinas 27 says it looks very pleasant here.
It does. Let me tell you a story about when I was here last. Well, not last, but the time before.
When it was 5 degrees out.
No shit, right? So let's go into this tree so it's not so hot. All the Spanish moss.
This is like a first-person video game, guys.
Yeah.
Got to brush aside the Spanish moss, except you don't have arms in the game,
Yeah,
so
I
it
was gonna
just
say, you try to make
whaps
me
you in the
jump, and I can't
face.
jump, but the zombies can jump. Why can't I get over the fence? Damn it. So I took a ghost tour when I was here with my friend Jen, and we accidentally booked the Scaredy Cat tour. But the lady, it was just us and the one lady, so she's like, okay, we'll do the real one. So she took us by the outside of the cemetery, which if you go right over here, you see that crypt? It's cut in half by the fencing. We'll show you guys it from the outside. But she's talking about something, and I'm a big Last podcast on the Left fan, so I just listened to this whole thing about a crazy drug dealer and this religion that he had that I'd never heard about before. And then she's telling me a story about how one time the gates were open on this further gate, and there was a trail of blood, and in the middle of it they found a fucking head of a goat and a goat body and a big like cauldron. And she's like, yeah, they thought it was like what's the southern one, not Santa Muerte, anyway, they thought it was one of those religions from the south. And I said, no, it's Payo Mayombe, which is one where you feed the cauldron, the Umganga, because we had just learned about that on last podcast.
Let me get closer, thank you. They're having trouble hearing you, so you're going to have to speak up
Thank
a little
you.
bit.
Okay, so there was a trail of blood from the southern gate over here, and the groundskeepers are following it, and they're like, what in the fuck is going on? Like, why is there a trail of blood? This is scary. Are we going to have to call the cops? And they found a headless goat, which is like so scary. So it was a goat body, the head, and in the middle there was a cauldron. And she was trying to say, oh, it's like Santa Muerte or whatever it was. And I'm like, no, it's Payo Mayombe, which is a South American religion with some African tie-ins, and it was so interesting to find it here in this part of the South. Like, you see that stuff more in Miami and in things like that, but it's a very specific one where you feed the cauldron different things to give you powers, to give you protection, and usually you feed them animal insides. But this guy that I was learning about, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it was on last podcast on the left, he was feeding it humans. So the cauldron is called an ngange, and it's really interesting to learn about. Last podcast on the left did like 3 episodes on it, so you should definitely check it out. But she was like blown away that I actually knew something about that. I was like, oh shit, you guys had that happen here? That's creepy.
Get a little wireless mic for you next time.
Yeah, we didn't know. The wind is probably what you guys are picking up. So we just wanted to show you the cemetery.
Get you all mic'd up. Get a pro rig.
We weren't even sure we were going to stream while we were here, so it was like a surprise for us.
Get a motion stabilizer, you know. Just let it
Watch out for this hole.
get all carried around. And this is the one that's cut in half.
Yeah, this is the one that's cut in half over here. I wanted to show you guys. And I mean, another thing she told us, and anybody who is into creepy stuff knows this, that yellow fever, or Spanish flu, as it was called, will put you into a coma. So back in the day, they couldn't really tell the difference between a deep coma and death, so they were burying people alive, because some people would have a natural immunity to it. They'd go into the coma, they'd come out, and they'd be like, right as rain. It's kind of like in Lost when they get conked on the head with a gun and then they're fine. Well, one of the things that they would add as a feature to these crypts is a door that only opens from the inside, so no one could enter it, but if you were somehow trapped and laid out on the slab, they would, be able to escape. And that was something that this used to have a feature of. They'd also have a bell, which is something they did during the time of tuberculosis, tied to the toe, so if you were buried alive, you just wiggle your toe. You could see that in the nun, where it has the little bells going off and everything.
Reverend Jean-Baptiste Lamoine.
Let's do like a circle of this one.
Yep.
Pause on this for a second so we can see this.
Oh, hey, Coyote, how you doing?
Hey, it was great to see you on Sunday. Don't forget to send me those pictures. You can see too, we have some more offerings here. Really cool. Don't want to touch or disturb anything. Though I am not religious, I do try to respect the religion of others. So you can see where it was cut. So the cemetery used to expand another couple of blocks that way, but when they needed to build homes, that all got pulled, and they said they had moved the bodies, but historians have found out that they just moved the headstones. They didn't move the bodies anywhere. So, I mean, if you want haunted apartments, it's exactly how you get that.
Coyote is currently working on the runway photos.
My dude.
So it says, don't stress out about getting the stuff.
Yeah, no. Don't you worry. Take your time. I'm not in a rush with that. I've got so much shit to do. These are really cool. Benjamin Burroughs. That sounds like a superhero name, right?
Yeah.
Because the alliteration. He was aged 52. Is that what we see? 52 years.
50 something.
52, we're going to say, years and 14 days. Big piece of marble, which means they were probably rich.
Yeah. Screven?
And Sarah Ann. So it's a joint one. This was the gate that was open. So imagine it's early morning, it's probably still dark, and you're like coming in like, all right, I gotta like leaf blow this and I gotta fix that, and all of a sudden you look down and there's, at first you're probably not like registering it right because it's still like dawn, so you're like, what is that? What the hell is that? Oh, it's blood.
Maybe you step in and get that weird little splash and you're like, but we didn't run the sprinklers last night.
Yeah, kind of being like, what's happening? So the trail started from here, and then right there in this middle apex is where they found the Umganga, which personally, if I was there, I'm not superstitious suspicious, but I'd be like, somebody else can clean that up. I'm not messing with that shit.
Deuces.
Oh, there's a little bit of litter, so I'm gonna grab that.
Love it. Love it. Let's watch the philanthropy at work here.
Oh, it's chicken noodle soup. We're gonna leave that. Oh, that's a shame. It's somebody's lunch. I wonder what happened. They left a whole thing. It might have been one of those homeless bags that
Yeah.
kind people give out, and the homeless person just didn't want it. See if we can find the trash can before I get ants on me.
And if we're going to be leisurely, because Starly's mom is amazing, if we're going to be leisurely headed back that way, we'll want to start moving.
Oh, yeah. We should probably do that. We'll wrap this up in a second. Check out these graves. They're beautiful.
Everything's beautiful here.
So I'm pretty sure this is the Colonial Cemetery. So if you're visiting, it's really close to downtown. And if you're looking at it on a map, you'll see the green squares for everywhere. But then you'll see the green rectangle on the map is where you'll want to go to see the historic site. There's another historic one, but it's like 1.5 miles from here. So it's more of a driving kind of thing.
And I found the modern cemetery the other day.
Yes. And Sarah was like, it wasn't that historic. And then she showed me on the map. I'm like, oops, I didn't set you up for success. Sorry, my friend. All right, guys. Hasta la pasta. Thanks for joining us for this cute tour of the cemetery. We'll see you later tonight.